So is this
All
is
right,
this going to be our
everyone.
model?
This is yeah, so we have
Yes,
our model.
yes, give
Welcome,
us the model.
welcome everybody. Rooted Health Hub. We're glad to have again our featured artist, an original Tina, leading our class today. Glad you're here. Big news: we have our YouTube channel up now, so you can go to Rooted Health Hub on YouTube and see all of our classes will be posted there. So if you missed a class, you can go in and watch one. And those are the updates I have for now. So I think Tina has what I think is going to be a challenge for us today. So I want to give her every second of the class as much as possible because I think we're gonna need all the time, all the time. All right, so super excited. What do you have in store for us today?
All right. So in honor of the favored technique of impasto here, which is just thick layered paint on the canvas, and you can use palette knives or paint brushes for that. We're gonna go ahead and stick with applying paint to the canvas very thickly, but we're gonna use a cat as a photo reference today. Now, the cat that we're using is Castiel, and what I'm gonna do is give everybody the freedom of color here because he's just a black cat in the sun in the photo, and if you would rather paint, a pink cat or an orange cat or a blue cat, you can do that. My color palette is pretty basic. He's gonna stay black on my canvas, and then I've got some blues and purples to add because black is never straightforward, especially with light on it. And then I've got some browns and then some yellows for his eyes. And one thing with impasto painting you have to take into consideration is the light that comes in and what that looks like in the photo and how you're going to make it look on your canvas. So that's the challenge always for me, is utilizing the light source and what that looks like with color. So he's an all black cat if you just look at him in normal face to face contact, but in this photo he's got so much light all over him that he's all kinds of different colors. So that's why I'm saying you have the liberty to paint him red or green or purple, whatever you want. Now to start, what I've done is I've outlined kind of how big he's going to be on my canvas. So if you guys need a moment to do that, the way that I had done it was I just took a paintbrush and got it saturated with some mineral spirits and dipped it in the paint and just kind of loosely sketched him on the canvas. So I knew where he was going to live. And that should help sort of situate him on your canvas, kind of get proportions in order. And I welcome this to be as crazy and wonky and disproportionate as possible, because if you try to paint it like it's supposed to be, if your brain is like mine, you're gonna get a little confused and a little wonky. And then what I end up having to do is turn it upside down to try to make it look like my brain thinks it's supposed to look, as opposed to letting it be what it is. So, which is just a cat painting. So there's no strict guidelines. There's no, I don't know, set format. It's just putting a cat on a canvas. So if you guys have paint out, do you have your palettes out and your paint ready to go?
Yep.
All right. And you have your photo, your reference photo there. So the way that I'm going to start is I'm going to look back at my reference photo and kind of see what stands out to me. And you guys all should be looking at the same photo. If not, that's fine. If you have a different cat, I'm welcome bringing that cat into the picture too. But what stands out to me is obviously the angle that he's facing right now, which is kind of the angle that I've got him at here. And then his little mouth kind of stands out, and it's not exactly black. So I'm going to mix a little bit of purple and Prussian blue together, and just I'm going to lay that right in the middle about where I think his nose is going to be. And I'm just going to dab the paint on there. Now, whenever you're doing this with a palette knife, impasto painting is just thick layered painting on the canvas, to kind of give it a layman's term here. And one good thing about painting this way is how much room for error that you actually do have, because you can scrape up and restart if you mess up. Now I'm using oil paint. I do have a little bit of yellow in some acrylic, but that's just for his eyes. So what I'm going to start doing is starting with his nose, because the angle of his face kind of, to me, would make it harder to paint the nose, but I want
Hey,
his nose
Tiffany,
to live here.
Yes, sir.
how do I get back on the main page? All I have, I can't, all I see is the cat. Or am I able to see?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, hit chat again. Hit chat again. It'll go
it?
away. Either
Let me
that or
see.
X. Either chat or X. I can't remember.
Uh,
Should be able to hit
see,
top.
Is it?
says close meeting
No,
chat.
No.
don't close the meeting. See, the chat box should move around. Is there an X on the chat box, Paulette?
Yes.
Are you on the
Okay,
picture?
this is doing, they just got me back to where I started.
Okay, you
Hold
can
on.
see that? You can see Tina at least.
Can't see anything, just the cat.
Can you, when you click on the picture, does it have an X on the right hand corner? Top.
Yes.
Okay, click that. And then it'll take you back to the chat.
Yeah, it still shows me a picture of the cat. It says replies.
Hold on, let me see.
So yeah, you're still in the
Can you
chat.
click? Can you click? There should be like a red bubble. Like if you were just gonna X out of a screen, there should be like
There's
red
no bubble. There's a picture of the cat, and then to the left of that is, I can't even read what it says. It's so small. There's like a little square.
Can you click on the actual chat box and move it around? Because maybe you just can't see where you exit out of it. I'm trying to think.
Nope.
So you still only see the picture?
Yep, it's on the upper left hand, and it's a small picture of a cat. Do I hit the arrow back on replies? Up top?
Maybe?
Try it. I mean, we'll let
Cross
you
my
back
fingers.
in. If you get kicked out, I guess we'll let you back in. Let's see. Show chat.
Okay. No, meeting chat wants me to close it. Then it's got underneath the picture of a cat. It's got the little message box with an X and a smiley face with an X.
A little smiley
We'll
face.
let you close it.
Yeah, just hit close. See what happens. If
Yeah.
it closes,
Close is going to take me out of the meeting.
Oh, it
Close
says
meeting
close.
chat.
No. Well, close meeting chat. Does it say? Yeah. Yeah. Do it. Do it.
Okay, here we go. All right.
All right. Good. All right. Whew. Taking risks today, y'all. Taking risks. All right. As long as you can see Tina. Now my cat's starting to look a little like Jay Leno, so I'm not sure. I'm so nervous. Okay. All right. I'm just doing it. I'm doing it. Okay.
Mine's
Yeah,
a little different, but that's okay.
I have nothing.
just throw the paint on there, because I'm telling you right now, mine does not look like anything but a big blob of a mess.
I'm doing it.
So
I'm just throwing paint down. I'm getting paint down. Here we go.
essentially what you want to do with the impasto technique is have him textured on here, but the biggest thing you need to worry about is the basic shape of him and what's going to stand out, and then utilizing your color and your light source there to make those features stand out. So right now I've got a big block of the black of his fur on here, but now I need to add color to distinguish kind of what's pulled forward and what's pushed back in the photo. And that's the tricky part about painting from a photo reference, is deciding what you're going to utilize to bring shadows and light out in a painting from a photo. But with the painting, it kind of comes with utilizing the thickness of the paint and having that texture on there to help guide you with what you're going to use for light and dark. I will say that, like, after doing these impasto paintings for a couple weeks now, like it has helped me be a little bit more brave with it. So thank you, Tiffany, for recommending that, because it's not usually the way that I go. And like I said, I practiced a little bit with the portrait, but didn't get very far. So this is definitely a safe space to practice and to make any kind of errors that you think you need to make, because I'm going to make them as well. So I'm utilizing my blues and my purples, and I've got purple and Prussian blue here that I'm mixing. Just because if I look at a cartoon of something, and I remember like watching Batman and Robin, and Batman always had like blue highlights to indicate what was like dark black or even just a little bit of light on the black. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm using purple and blues, because that's what I associate it with. Like if I was gonna make black stand out and have different depths with light on it, I would use purple and blue for sure. So that's what I'm doing. Like I said, you guys can use any colors you want. If you want specific guidance, then I would recommend purples and blues. When we get further down in his fur on his body, you'll see that the sunlight is adding more of a like yellow and brown. And I talked to my sister about this the other day, and all black cats aren't necessarily all black. They're kind of a black brown tabby, which I thought was interesting. Now I don't know if that's a fact or not, but I was like, well, I didn't know that. So I've got some burnt umber on my palette as well to utilize. And then you can also maintain having like some yellow ochre and white as well. I mean, it just looks like a big blob to me right now, to be honest with you. I'm not an artist or anything.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. You wanna sneak peek on what's happening? Bum, ba-da-ba!
Yeah.
Nice.
Body. I think his body's hilarious. And his face is like, whoopsie.
I love it.
I love him.
I think I messed up the body a little bit, but I can show you guys what I have. Can you see it?
Heck yeah.
Is it blurry?
It's blurry. We can see the outline though. I think it's
It's blurry.
It's blurry, but it's okay. We'll see. You have to hold it up to your face, call it like it's your face, then we can
Oh.
see. There we go.
Can you still see? Is it still blurry?
It's cute though. We see the outline. It's a little mysterious. We'll see the pictures of it there.
Yeah.
And I'll add some color in right here, some of this yellow ochre, so you can kind of see how I'm going to utilize the lighter colors for the light source, because around the back of his neck here, you can kind of get a little bit lighter. And then you can pull some of that in. And what we've been talking about with this type of painting is that one really good aspect of it is how easy it is to clean. You don't have to rinse your palette knife. You just wipe it off with the t-shirt. And did any of you, since this is your first time on here, did any of you have any questions about the supplies? Now that I'm thinking about it.
I still had that one that I bought last time when we did that first class. So I figured it was similar supplies.
Yeah. So what I'm doing is picking up clumps of yellow here, this yellow ochre, and going in and sort of just putting it where I see light in the photo on top of what I've already got. And then when it starts to get mixed in a little too much, I'll just wipe off my palette knife and go in with some more. Oh, my phone turned off.
Which palette knife are you using?
I'm using this real skinny one.
Skinny.
Yeah, it's one I got a while back. It's my favorite one to mix paint with, just because of how thin it is and flexible. And I seem to go to it a little bit more often than not, specifically because of how I can pinpoint things with it and kind of make it exactly what I need to. So it is my go-to, unfortunately, but it does the trick. It's just a real long, skinny one. It's kind of got a rounded edge to it. And if you guys don't think that it's turning out like you want it to, like I said, one good thing about this as well is being able to take paint off with your palette knife. So there is definitely room for error here. You don't have to come in and try to do things perfectly. I don't recommend it. Just come in with an open mind, and we will welcome all the mistakes. Now, to kind of get the angle of fur here and how it's not laying all flat in one direction, you're going to want to change the angle in which you're using your palette knife or your brush and how you're laying that on there. And what that's going to do.
Dad, was that a sigh of relief because there's magic happening or frustration?
No, because I was able to pop the protective layer of my paint off here.
Oh, good. Are you that's the side of your palette knife that you're dragging across, right? To move it.
Yeah, so I'll get the paint on the bottom and come in and lay it with the bottom and then turn it and pull it with the side. So it's like a 2-step method here of laying it down and then pulling back out. And all that does is that it moves it from the bottom and then you can pull it with the side. I mean, now is as good of a time as any to kind of like experiment with your palette knife or your paintbrush and what's going to work with you and how you paint. Because we are all going to do this differently. But the fact that you're here doing it is just a huge win. So go you. And I like to kind of start and imagine what's underneath, like a layer of this fur, and then what the layer of fur on top would be. So like I just laid down the light that's kind of on the left side of his face. And then I'm going to go in with some darker color here and fill in that white space right there. And this is just going to keep that fur kind of sticking out this way, the way that I feel like it looks in this photo. And the more that you change the angle in which you're applying paint or pulling paint through, the more textures, the more angles, the more brush strokes you get on a painting. It just kind of adds to the composition of it, and that it's going to give it more depth, more like the more strokes and different strokes you have, the more interesting the painting is going to be. So for me, that kind of makes it. One thing I do often, you guys, is I turn my paintings quite a bit. You're not required to do that, but changing that perspective for me helps. So if you have questions about why or how I do that, it is specifically so that my brain can still process. I don't want it to get stagnant in how it's seeing this. And his ear's a little translucent in that light, is it not? Oh. We're going to add just a smidge of this fleshy yellow color that I have. And it's super thick paint, so I'm kind of happy about that. I don't have to thin it up or thicken it up. And the type of paint that I'm using is stuff that I ordered back when I was in my undergrad, so it's a little old. And of course, the older paint that you have, the more body it's going to have to it. Just because it's been sitting for quite some time. So, the screen went away again, sorry.
Rami.
There we go. And for his ear, I'm going to add a little bit of this fleshy color. And then we'll check in and see how everybody's doing. And I'm not trying to make it perfect. I'm just trying to get the color on the palette or on the canvas so that I can work with it. And he's got a little bit of fleshy over here. And this is what I was talking about, like working with the light that you have in the photo and trying to figure out how you're going to depict that on the canvas. And top of his head. I guess we can go with, try a little of this purple with this flesh color. Let's see how much that lightens it up. See what that looks like. I really like the purple and blue to be mixed with the black. Did anybody veer off with the different colors?
I've got some green eyes in there right now.
Nice.
Hey, you've got eyes. That's a good.
Yeah.
Well, a semblance of eyes.
I right now I feel like I'm laying color on top of color, but I'm not completely lost my shape, but it definitely is not distinguishable as a cat at this point. But I've got some shapes happening. I've got some shapes happening.
I guess I need to put an eye in there so I know where his eye is supposed to live. So good job on you, Richard, for getting an eyeball on there. Let's see if I can do that. Okay.
It's
Let's
tough.
try an eyeball.
It's hard to delineate anything on that cat.
Right? This is a challenge, you guys. Welcome. Let's see. I've got some neon yellow acrylic. I don't know how that's going to work with my oil, but we're going to try it. I just don't have any more lemon yellow, which is what I really should have got at the store instead of what I did get. All right. So we're gonna blob an eye on here. There's one. See if we can figure out another.
How does your glob automatically look like an eyeball? I just don't. Yeah.
It's the palette knife.
Yeah, I think it might have something to do with talent too, but whatever.
It's probably just
I mean,
the palette
you know what
knife.
mine looks like? What were those things you put water on them and they like turn it? Gremlins. That's what mine looks like now, is a gremlin. Look at this thing, Tina. It's a
Oh, I love
gremlin.
it. I love his body.
It looks so good.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I might turn it into a gremlin. We'll see. All right.
Yeah.
You never know where the canvas will take you.
You never know. And I'm laying the eyeballs on pretty thick here, guys. So just know that the thicker the paint, the heavier the canvas. I don't know what it's going to do for the eyes, but I say go thick or go home.
Yeah.
All right. So we kind of got a blob here. All right. We got eyes. Whew. They're not even, but they're there. See what I can do with this. This neon yellow, though. Oh, that's turning it green. All right. Works. Probably because I have some Prussian blue mixed in there. And I say, like I said, go thick or go home. I mean, it looks a little scary now.
Well, that's not a good saying because I am home, so.
All right, man. I'm home too, so I don't know.
Okay, so we're all home.
We're all home. So we going thick anyways, Richard. We're gonna be thick with it. What you got? You want to show us?
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's supposed to be a cat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here's what I got.
Hold
Let's
on.
see.
A little bit further. A little bit further. Oh, he's looking so cute. That's precious, Dad. That's cute.
I saw the pool. I didn't see the cat. Let me see again.
Tina was distracted by the pool.
By the
Sorry,
pool.
Richard.
Oh, oh, wow. Look at that fur.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's hard to delineate
It
where
is.
one part ends and one part begins. So that's helping me a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna
One thing I like to do, Richard, is zoom in on the photo and color block out what I see. And then I make my brain see it differently so that it doesn't look like a cat representationally. It just looks like shapes and colors. And then you
Right.
pull away from that and you step away from your own painting. And then it tends to start to look like a cat or
Okay.
whatever. Yeah.
Is there an app for that? I guess
It's
not.
called being a little crazy. So I mean, I
Oh,
can share
okay.
that. But I should make an app for that. That's funny. Let's see. I can't distinguish his nose right now, so I'm going to be brave and add some of this flesh color to the blue to make it a little lighter, like a little bit brighter, make his nose stand out because I want his nose. I have to be able to see his nose, right? We have to be able to distinguish what his face is. Let's see. He's got a cute little nose there. Let's put him a nose right about here. He's kind of got a little bit of a hump on it. Just gonna dabble a little bit. I don't know if what you guys can see here, but that's kind of the angle of it. And then we've got a line that comes down, this little cute little line in his nose. Yeah, kind of weird, isn't it? And then we're gonna pull this way, give him his little lippy lip. And pull this way and a little lippy lip there. He's got a mouth on him. It's kind of looking like a mouth. I don't know. A layer right there. And maybe a little bit of this purple right here will help distinguish his little, what do we call that? A snout? Is a little bit of a, what is that? A lip or a snout on a cow? On a cat? I don't know what you would call that. Where their whiskers come out of it. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
That's a
Like
good question.
the cheeks.
The cheekers.
Cheeks. I don't know.
I like it. The one thing I do know is that the cheeky is like here, and I'm just using the side of my palette knife to kind of carve that on the canvas. That you can use the scraping method once you get a bunch of paint on there to help outline if you need to as well. The little cheekies here. You hear my scrapings?
Yes, my favorite.
And that should be able to help distinguish what's what on his face, right? Like, and then he's kind of got cheekbones here. Cheekbones for days. And his little cheeky. And you got a cheeky here. And then, oh God, now I feel like I'm losing it. See, I might have too much paint here. I think what I'm gonna do, and this is a good method for you guys to see on how I'm gonna fix what I've got going on here. So I feel like I've got too much paint over here. So I'm just gonna let my mineral spirit come in and sort of wash that away a little bit. I'm just going under what I've got outlined. And I'm gonna go in with my rag and wipe it the heck off of there. And now his face is a little bit more distinguished. I don't know if y'all can see any of that. But... And then I'll go back in. And this is where I'm like essentially correcting myself, if you will. Because I had too much going on. And this is where like getting angles and stuff right. Kind of want to have them set in the beginning so that when you go to add on your painting, you don't have to fix those at a later time. But I'm fixing mine right now. So just know that if you make mistakes, it's totally okay. They're actually, what are they? Happy accident. A happy freaking accident right there. Filling in the background for me so I don't have to. And one thing I've also been trying to show you guys is that, or during these classes, is try not to get too attached to what you have going on, because if you do, then you're going to start to be overcritical of your painting, and then you're not going to see it for what it actually is, which is super simple. All right. Anybody have any questions about the mistake I'm trying to fix here?
Just thank you for the reminder because it came at the perfect time when I was thinking I just ruined this, but I was like, nope, it's an opportunity to shift it into something else. So let's shift it, and I can put. I'm working on it, so I'm gonna build a new cat face on the cat face.
Totally. And I mean, if you see what I've done here,
Yes.
this is actually turning out better than I thought it would. He's actually got the angle on his face now. I ain't mad at it. It actually looks pretty cool. I don't know. How did I do that? I don't even understand it. Did I go away? There we
No,
go.
you're here. You're here.
My phone likes to go blank on me sometimes when I'm looking at the photo reference and on the Zoom call. So yeah, what I've done is I outlined with my palette knife, and then I went in with my paintbrush and my mineral spirits and kind of took off excess that I didn't need. It kind of has a face.
It is a distinguishable face. Yes, it looks like where he's turning into the. Yeah, it looks like.
Right? He's kind of got,
Yeah.
he's kind of got a face. Interesting. I don't know. It does remind me. Remember, I told you I like the purples and the blues because of cartoons. It looks like a cartoon right now. I don't know how I did that. It's a cartoon, guys. All right, so I'm gonna continue with his body here and kind of let his face live with what I've got. And his body is a little bit more obscure with the colors here, just because there's so much going on. I'm gonna start with some purples and blues still, and then I'll go in with on the lighter sections. Like, I'm just gonna make a mental note of where those lighter sections are, so I don't put down too much paint, because that's something that I thought I just did wrong up here. When I say wrong, I mean like unintentional. I'm going to use this wavy method that I'm holding my palette knife like this, laying it flat with the paint on it, and then kind of going in a wave method to give the illusion of his hair being layered. If that makes any sense. Kind of like that. Let me know if I've missed you. And like I said, the more different strokes you have, different brush strokes, different palette knife strokes, the more variety you're going to have, the more interesting your painting is going to be. If you're not worried about making it interesting right now, that's totally cool. We can just worry about getting the paint on the canvas. And let's see, we've got some lighter colors. So I'll tell you what a method I'm going to use, and I'll show you. I'm going to go ahead and lay down a little bit more of this purple closer to where the light is. Got coming in. Then I'm going to go on top with that lighter color and pull it through and show you how I'm going to. Does anybody have any questions so far? Do you guys want to share your progress? Because I'm happy to look.
Full transparency, I may have stopped painting and just watched you paint for a little while, so that may be where I was at for a second.
That's cool. That's cool. Definitely gonna have to rewatch this one because I don't know how I'm doing half of what I'm doing.
I think, yeah, I'm definitely coming to a point where I'm like, I feel like I just want to like carry this paint I have on here across the canvas and start with
Yeah.
like a red cat on top of these purples.
I mean, I would do it if you've got the red paint and the space on the canvas to go right over top of that. I say do it because honestly, the more colors and like I said, the more textures that you have, the more interesting that this Kit Kat gonna be.
Just go for it, right?
Go for it.
Just gonna go for it.
You're gonna Van Gogh it.
Dad, how's your cat coming along? Good?
Yeah, it's coming along okay. How's yours coming along?
I'm just gonna start over.
Hey,
I know, I just got, but no, this is good. This is good though. I like this challenge, but I think I don't know. It's like I had a good thing going and then I don't know. I just blobbed it up. But I like the color. I like the colors that I've made. And so I think that like if I could do maybe use red on top of this, on top of my colors. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. It's gonna happen.
Mix your you said you had purple on there.
Yeah.
Mix a little bit of your red and purple and start in that way, and then use more of your red by itself once you get the red and purple mixed in on there, because then maybe that'll help bring out parts of it that you're seeing that are just muddy,
Gotcha.
or mixed together, but maybe that'll help isolate those spaces so that you can see that a cat does live there. We just need to make
Cat.
it a little bit more visible.
All right. On it. Doing it.
And the only thing that I'm looking at on this photo to kind of help guide you guys with what I'm seeing and what I'm throwing on here, I'm just looking at the dark spaces and what I'm utilizing for the darkest of my darks here, which is just the black and the blue and the purple all mixed together. And then I'm using that purple to kind of guide me towards the lighter parts. And then I'll use that flesh color to go in and accentuate that. And I'm not being too gingerly with my canvas. I never will be, but if that's something that you guys need to do if that's how you work, that's totally understandable and fine. There's no right or wrong way to do this. In fact, art is so interesting because everybody has a different method and perspective. So I welcome how you do yours. In fact, you could probably teach me a lot of somethings. All right, I'm gonna go in with this flesh color now, and a little bit of the purple and the blue mix. And I'm going to, is that purple and blue? Oh, that's black.
can't get this.
So now I've got gray, which also works. But I'm gonna collect that on the side of my palette knife here. And I'm gonna go in this bright sunny part on his fur on like the center of his back. That's what I'm gonna try to sort of block out that I'm gonna be focusing on next. So I'm utilizing this gray that I've made, and we're using that as the base of where I'm going. And with all these colors, we have to be able to mix them in without killing the vibrancy of it. Kind of show and utilize the light. So going back in even up here. And one thing I always focus on when I'm doing cat to add last is the whiskers, because whiskers, when you look at a cat, it's like they're sitting on top of their face. And when you look at a photo of a cat, it's like they're sitting on top of everything. So I add whiskers last. Just know that. All right. let's do this color. I'm looking for light purple here, light purple. And then I'll go back over top with some more flesh yellow here. So whole area here is pretty much where he's got that sun on his back. And that's my base. And then I'm gonna go right on top of it. Hopefully this doesn't muddy up too much. But I've filled up the bottom of my palette knife and I'm laying and scraping. Lay and scrape. Now, if you're using a paintbrush, it might be a little different, which is totally fine, and I can show you that. But as you can see, it kind of serves the purpose that I need it to, which was to be the light source on his fur here.
That's so cool. I just love the texture. I mean, the texture's so cool. It's like it's popping right off the canvas. It's so cool.
One thing I like about that, like with that texture, Tiffany, is when you're using this palette knife technique, just like how you can go in and blend it like that.
Yeah, just
So it's not so like a blunt edge, you know?
Well, I think so. Thank you for the tip on adding the red in here because I think what I'm gonna do. Well, one, this is one of the coolest like blends of colors.
Yeah.
I love
Ooh,
colors in this, so I'm
that's
super excited about this. And
that's
I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do the eye blobs. I'm gonna use
okay.
the burnt ogre here to to do the eye blob. I think I'm gonna start with the eyes and see what I can do from there.
I like that. The burnt ogre. Yeah, I definitely like going in with this fleshy color here for the light source. And like I said, that paint that I have is a little bit thick because it's been sitting a while. If you have paint like that, just mix some of your mineral spirits in with it and it thins it right up like it should be. Or like you need it to be. For me, I just need it thin enough to be able to come off of my palette knife as I'm gently gliding it over top of what I've got down. Because if you've already found out, if not, whenever you're laying paint on top of paint, especially wet paint, it mixes together. So you have to be mindful of how much pressure you're putting down and what that looks like to you whenever you're utilizing this method. And see, for me, where's my cat reference photo? There we go. See, he's got light coming down right here. It's at a different angle. So I'm going to go at it at a different angle here. And then let's see, where else have we got that? He's got a little bit right here in the tuft of his chest. So to sort of add a little bit more dimension there, we're going to start here. And I'm going to start at the bottom and pull up this way. And that just kind of gives the illusion that he's got that tuft right here. And then all I'm going to do is go back in with a little bit of the purple and the blue and just blend that on in. And see, one thing I like about having people that paint differently and see things differently and like just have different techniques is that there's no right or wrong way. If that looks like the cat's tough to you, then by George, that's what it is. And it's all about the perspective, right?
I was just talking with my dad earlier today about how when it comes to sketching things out first, my head just fills with like doubt. I'm just overwhelmed with like, I'm just overwhelmed when I start like drawing or sketching things out.
Yeah.
It's just my brain just floods. I don't know, is that something that coming to the canvas like this really helps because it's like, and having you, it's like you giving me permission to just do what I need to do on the canvas. It's like, okay, Tina says it's okay, it's okay.
It's totally okay.
It's totally okay. Whatever happens, it's okay.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about like coming into painting. Like traditionally, most people think it when you go into painting, it has to look like something specific. And for me, I felt like it was impossible to paint representationally just because I could never get something to look exactly like I wanted it to. And when I let go of that perspective, when I let go of the thought that's supposed to look like that, then things started to look like I wanted them to. So I had to go through that phase where I had to have permission as well to just let the painting live as it was supposed to be. And there is nothing wrong with like knowing that. It's not a weakness. It's just understanding that if you're not somebody that grew up being an artist and like doing this, that you have to have come at it at phases. It's kind of like you can compare it to like learning a skill at work or something. Like right now, I'll use myself right now for automation. I don't know half of what I need to know for automation, and I'm in an engineering department, and I'm like, what? I got to do what? I got to know what the difference is between AC and DC and electrical stuff. Like it takes knowledge and skill and practice and knowing and understanding that I literally don't know anything that I'm doing. So I go in with the learning perspective and I always come out doing pretty okay. And I feel like that's kind of how we have to look at it this way. Is just don't be so hard on ourselves. Come in to have fun and to learn. And I mean, where can you go wrong, right? And so I like to welcome people as I would have wanted to be welcomed if I was coming at art this way. So that's why it's like, it's probably easier for you at this point and phase in your life. And honestly, like I said, Tiffany, you're finding your voice with your paintings. And I wouldn't be doing this much with Impasto if it wasn't for you. So I thank you for that.
Yeah, of
And
course. Of
I
course.
think you're doing great creating on your own too, because honestly, it's also like encouraging me to go in and create on my own and like to continue to work even when I don't feel like painting. You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't I feel like
Oh
painting?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think for you, like that's part of what helps me is like the consistency. Like I know on Sundays we come together to paint on Sundays, and like during the week it's something I look forward to and like, okay, I have that space. I know I have that space and time to paint, and so that's really helpful. Absolutely, because I feel like if I wasn't consistent, then I wouldn't get to the canvas, but every now and then it wouldn't, I
Yeah,
wouldn't have created
totally.
some of the things that I've created. So, and now I've got this cool, instead of just giving up, now I've got this cool, like mysterious Cheshire cat thing happening.
Whoa,
I love
Ah,
it.
So
that's the
good.
word that I was gonna use for mine.
So I'm
Mine is,
like, so what's your stuff?
since I couldn't come up with a provocative uh perspective of what I'm painting, I came up with a provocative title. It's
Oh,
All right.
simply Cat with Collar and Bell.
I like it. Let's see him. Aim your camera down a little.
hold on, down, down. All right, steady.
Oh yeah.
Cute. He's so cute.
There's the
I
pool
love
again.
all these
There's
cat
the
paintings.
pool.
There's the pool again.
The pool. That should be our inspiration for next time is that pool. There we go.
There you go.
Right?
Hey, listen, ladies, it's been a blast. It's been a riot. It's been a lot of fun.
You
And
out?
I've learned a few things. I'm got to get ready to go because Pam is coming back from work and we got to get to the store so we'll have food to eat tonight.
Oh, I guess
So
that's important. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm gonna have to close it up. Again, I appreciate you and
Oh,
thank you
thank
for
you so much for joining.
your invite.
Bye, Dad.
Bye.
Thanks for
Bye.
Bye,
coming.
Richard.
Love you
Love
guys. Take care of
you.
yourselves.
Bye. Do you know how to
Love you
leave the meeting?
too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh my gosh, y'all, this is so much fun. Oh, and Paulette. So Paulette will be in town over Larry's spring break, so I'll text you about that because that's
Oh, awesome.
we only have a couple minutes left, but I just wanted to say that before I forgot so that we can make sure that we get to see each other.
I don't really know what my cat turned out to be. But
Yeah,
I
let's
can-
see. It's a cat.
Oh my
I
God, Paulette, those eyes are awesome.
It's a deformed cat, but it's okay.
It is not a deformed cat. He's a kitty cat in all his
Not
glory. I
deformed, but
love
look
it.
at that eye color. That eye color looks like his eyes. That's so cool. I love him. I love he's like angry cat.
He is
Right?
angry. I guess it's portrayed my feelings of the week. I don't know, maybe.
That's possible.
Hey, Tina always says you should write down what you were feeling at the time you were painting and give a reflection. You'd be like, take it to work. Take it to work and be like, y'all, this is the kind of mood y'all put me in.
Yes, exactly. I'm gonna take this to work and I'm gonna put it up on my on top like this little shelf where my computer is.
Or like you can let people know if you see the cat painting, that's your sign that I need my space.
Stay away.
You have to name him. Be like, nope, he's out. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. I mean, Tina, your cat looks like it has a story. Like I will just say that much. Like, what story? That is so cool.
So good.
So
When
cool.
you look at the different textures, I mean, that's what I'm talking about, going in at different
Yeah.
angles and stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You can't hardly see it like from the over here, but I always love that. Always love that. But you're all, you know what? If I didn't have you guys on these calls and challenging me to do this kind of stuff, I really don't know what I would be painting.
Well, I mean, same here. Like I mean, it went well, and I think for me, I will continue to say, I always show up not thinking much of myself or what I could bring to the class. And then
Yeah.
moments where I'm like, okay, I can do this. And then moments where I'm like, who am I kidding myself? This is nothing like it needs to be. And then you remind me, enjoy it. We're here together. Just enjoy the process, enjoy it. And then I make something that like I actually like. And I'm like, oh, look at there. Look at that.
There you go. And the class has served its purpose at that point.
Right? Like so much fun. Well, we are coming up on time, so I want to say thank you again for coming together. Again, Sundays have just become a real respite, I will say, from everything.
Mhm.
Adding color and laughter and learning a little something along the way. So I appreciate it. And yeah, hopefully we can continue this for a while. That's the plan anyway. Paulette, I'll send you the YouTube link, and so you
Yeah.
can watch the classes and all of that. And yeah, I'm excited to see what comes next.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you. This was a lot of fun. It was great seeing you guys.
Yes, I like that all three of us were on this call.
I know.
Yeah.
Give me
And then
energy for
Daddy
the
O.
rest of this Sunday. All right, ladies. See you later.
All right,
Love ya.
bye. Love you guys.
Love you.